love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to those that have been here with us and to those that are here for the first time. We appreciate you. This is ChopStation. We're built on love, knowledge, wisdom, and building. Listen, we're here every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern, sharp. As you see, we start on time. I believe that's very important. I want to say thanks to everyone that's viewed and listened. I'm sending love to everyone that's out there that has tuned in to support me, support ChopStation, also to support Dr. Jeffrey. These first 3 weeks back have been amazing. And the amount of people that we've touched, I thank God for, and I'm very humbled by it and want to continue to be obedient. I also want to make sure that I give flowers upon flowers to Dr. Pamela Odom, because I know she's around. I know she's watching. Thank you for your prayers and your support as well. ChopStation is available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Anchor, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube. If you just want to go and watch the show, I encourage everyone to make sure you go subscribe to all of them so that you don't miss an episode, because the content is going to continue to keep coming. Now, with all that said, let's get down to business. We have Dr. Jeffrey Odom, the founder of Agape Christian Center Church, Incorporated, here to deliver the goods. Now, part one, check. Priest, provider, protector. Okay. Part two, sexuality. Part three, I don't know about y'all. Dr. Jeffrey, welcome. Welcome to everybody that's watching again. I'm ready. Let's go.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity, and thank all of you that are logged in and are watching and are sharing this broadcast and this podcast. And I thank you so much for this opportunity, because this is my passion, men. And I believe that that the only way men can really authentically become men is that they have to have another man teach them how to be a man. And so I appreciate you, Marvin, for this opportunity, and it's so well needed, not only in the body of Christ, but in the world. Men need to know how to be men. And that this is my passion. This is something I love to do. So let's get into it. And so to this third part, the levels of a man, the third part is dominion, respect, and leadership. I say it again. We're going to talk about tonight dominion, respect, and leadership. This is the third level of the man. Just to recap a little bit, we talked about the man being made up of body, soul, and spirit. And we talked about those in depth, and we said that men need to be priest, protector, and provider, the first level. The second level of man is sexuality. These are attributes that we cannot deny that make up a man. The third level of a man is dominion, respect, and leadership. And we can go back to the Bible in Genesis, the first chapter. I'm not trying to make it a Bible study, but we got to go to the Bible, because this is how God made man. Man didn't make himself. God made man. And so if we look in the King James Version in Genesis, the first chapter and the 26th verse, he says, "And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish, over the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth." Keyword, dominion. And so, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. 27 verse, so God created man in his what? In his own image. In the image of God created he him, male and female created he them. And God blessed them, and God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it, and have, he says it again, and have what? Dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. So what does dominion mean? Why did we say that God made men with dominion? He made women with dominion too, but we're talking about the man. So dominion, this is what dominion means. Dominion means rule. To rule, it means to reign. It means to have authority over and supremacy. Dominion is leadership, hierarchy, and order. So men have been given the divine privilege to lead. I say that again. Men have been given by God the divine privilege to lead. It is the makeup of man. And I say it this way. You cannot separate masculinity and leadership. Neither can you separate leadership from masculinity. They are innate. They are entwined. They are twins. They are together. Masculinity means leadership. So men have to be given, we have been given the divine privilege by God to lead. He is in the order. You got to listen carefully to this. The reason why we're saying this is because a man is in order of God. He is in the order of God. In a family unit, there should be order of hierarchy. A hierarchy, in other words, a level. It goes from level to level. Number one, it should be God. Man is submitted unto God. And then number two is the man. Number three is the woman. And number four are the children. Now, when you take that out of order, you just messed up the dominion. You just messed up the hierarchy. The woman can't be above the man. The children can't be above the woman. The man can't be above God. It's got to be in that order. God, the man, the woman, and then the children. Anything else is going to be out of order. You're going to mess up the order of God. So that is the order. That's what we mean when we say dominion. So men have the ability to lead if allowed. If you allow the man to lead, he can lead. When a man is not allowed to lead, he is, listen, emasculated. If a man is not allowed to lead, he is emasculated. So a woman can emasculate a man, and she can emasculate her man by taking the leadership role, making decisions. What do we mean by removing his dominion, his respect, his leadership, making decisions for him, telling the man what to do, when to do it, and how to do it, moving ahead of the man and assuming his role in the family hierarchy. If the woman is ahead of the man, you messed up the hierarchy. If the children are ahead of the woman, you messed up the hierarchy. It's God, the man, the woman, and then the children. So perfect example is this is in the Bible. So when women move ahead of the man and they assume the role of leadership and you emasculate your man, this is the spirit of Jezebel. The spirit of Jezebel. So Jezebel emasculated her husband by taking away his dominion. She took away his dominion, she took away his respect, and she took away his leadership. In 1 Kings, when you go back, you get an opportunity to read it, go back and read or study 1 Kings, the 21st chapter. Read the entire chapter so you can get the gist of what I'm saying. And I'm not going to read the whole thing to you. I'm going to summarize it. King Ahab wanted a vineyard that was right beside his house that belonged to Naboth. When Naboth would not sell the property to him, he went home sulking like a child. He put his head in his pillow and began to sulk. King Ahab would not eat or drink for several days. He was so upset that Naboth wouldn't sell his vineyard to him. And so his wife Jezebel, who called herself a prophetess, who worshiped these idol gods, Baal, that's a whole nother lesson, but this is why I'm going to stick to the point. His wife Jezebel asked her husband, what was wrong? What's wrong, baby? What's wrong? He told her, Naboth wouldn't sell me his vineyard. And so she took matters in her own hands. She had Naboth killed, and she took the vineyard for her husband. This is what I mean by emasculating your man or emasculating men, taking his authority to make decisions, disrespecting him, and treating him like a spoiled child. This degrades him. This takes away his masculinity. It takes away his dominion. It takes away his respect. It takes away his God-given leadership. And so when she emasculated him, she took away his authority to make decisions. She disrespected him, and she treated him like a spoiled little child. Taking away a man's right to lead is taking away his manhood. I'll say that again. Taking away a man's right, his divine right to lead the family, to lead the woman, to lead the children, make decisions for him, emasculate him, treat him like a little boy. This takes away his right to lead, and is taking away his manhood. One of the greatest things you can do is respect a man.
Dr. Jeffrey,
yes.
There, listen, everybody that's in the chat right now, everybody that's watching right now, I want you to send this link and send the link to this video, to this live podcast, to one person that you know. Pick somebody in your phone, anybody in your phone, send this out to them so we can continue to get the information and the knowledge shared, because there are a lot of men that are struggling right now. And if you have to understand about a man, men do not a lot of times voice their emotions, which leads to a lot of suicides and those other bad negative things, because they feel like they're going to be looked at as less of a man. But right now, I don't pick one person in your phone, whoever it is, uncle, cousin, brother, friend, somebody you met, somebody you know, get that man on this live. Thanks, Dr. Jeffrey. Go ahead. Yes.
So one of the greatest things that a person can do is respect a man. See, women want love. Men want respect. We really don't need love. I mean, love is that's just a part of it. We appreciate it. But men value respect over love. We want to be respected. That is the trophy of a man. That is the value of a man. We want to be, every man out there, every man listening to me will give a round of applause, will give a high five, and they will say, "That brother, you are right." Every man wants to be respected. Because in Ephesians, the 5th chapter, in the 33rd verse, it says, it instructs, however, let each one of you love his wife as himself. And listen, this is it. And let the wife see that she respects her husband. She wants love, but he wants and needs respect. So what is this? What is respect? Just as a woman needs love, men need respect. And as a husband, that husband, that means house. The hus means house. And then the band means he bands the family together. House band. He is the foundation. The man is the foundation for the family. And so he bands the house together with his leadership, with his decisions, by being respected, not only by the woman, but being respected by the children. So men, we thrive on respect. And a husband feels respected by his wife. He needs to feel respect by his wife. He will begin to live in such a way that he is worthy of respect. So when you start respecting the man, he will start living worthy of that respect. This is why men are so competitive. And we love sports. Why do we love sports? Because we thrive to be respected by other men. We want to be respected by other men. We want to be respected by other women and society. We want respect in our home. We want respect in our careers, and we want respect in the church. So men want to be respected wherever we go. Wherever we go, we want to be respected. We want to be respected because it gives us a sense of value. When a man is respected, it gives him a sense of value. It gives him a sense of worth, credibility, and confidence. You want to boost a man's confidence? Respect him. You want to boost a man's credibility? Respect him. You want to boost a man's worth? Respect him. So when a man is respected, he feels like a king. All the brothers ought to say amen. When a man is respected, he feels like a king. As men, we must remember that respect is an oxymoron. It's a two-sided coin. As men, we must remember that respect is earned. We must conduct ourselves wisely, with integrity, with love, and being an example of a priest, a protector, and a provider. So we got to earn this respect. We can earn this respect as men when we go about doing good. When men go about doing good, then we earn respect. So how do we do that? Being present and active in our families, communities, and society as a whole. Even our churches, we must be present. We must be active. This is how we earn respect. Men who are connected to I want to give you an example of this. And I found this out of an excerpt of a Bible, the Bible that there was a book that I read years ago that talked about men connecting with their daughters. So men who are connected to their daughters, for example, offer a special type of leadership and they earn respect. Listen to this. Men who are connected to their teenage daughters, their daughters do better in school. This is statistically sound statistics right here. These are facts. Girls, teenagers who are connected to their fathers do better in school. They get better grades and are likely to finish high school plus attend college. They experience greater self-esteem. They have significantly fewer suicide attempts. They have less body dissatisfaction and healthier weight. They delay having premarital sex, which naturally decreases teen pregnancies. Men who are connected to their teenage daughters are more likely to find steady employment. The girls are more likely to find steady employment. They report less depression, have lower rates of substance abuse, drugs, and alcohol. Teenage girls who are connected to their fathers display empathy and positive social behavior, are 80% less likely to spend time in jail compared to kids with uninvolved fathers. So as men, we earn respect by not only being present, but being active and actively involved in our children's lives. So lastly, leadership. Leadership must be a desired skill. We talked about what? Dominion. We talked about respect. Now let's talk about the third aspect, the level of a man. And this last one is leadership.
Dr. Jeffrey, let's take a break. We'll go ahead and take our break right now, and then we'll come back into and finish up with leadership. But nuggets so far: dominion, respect, leadership. I want to also, before we go to break, I have to do this because I should have did it when we started. Again, we're going to celebrate 40 years. Okay. Amen. I want to make sure before we go any further, drop a comment, happy anniversary, 40 years. That's a big statement. So you're speaking from a place that not a lot of people can speak from of 40 years. You know, a lot of times, you guys are sharing nuggets in, Dr. Pamela is going to come behind and share nuggets that you all know. See, when you've been there 20 years, you haven't been there 30. When you've been there 30, you haven't been there 40. So it's great that you have knowledge, but you all actually have the present knowledge of 40 years into this game to understand how things go. So I wanted to make sure I shouted that out. I know you all are on vacation. I ask God to continue to bless your your socks off for doing this and taking time while you're on your vacation. Yeah. So everyone, as you know, always, we're going to go ahead and take a minute and 30-second break. Grab your water, your whatever you might need to get. Come right on back. We're going to get right back into it.
Amen.
Okay, and we're back. Dr. Jeffrey, Dr. Odom put a post in there, and I want you'll probably touch on that as you go. It's not necessarily a question, but a statement, and it's so profound that I want to make sure that I show this. And because I'm telling you guys, I have been asked a lot of questions by a lot of different people this week that they want the information. And anytime, if everybody that's watching, you can message the ChopStation channel. If you have my cell phone, you're free to message my cell phone with any questions you may have for any guests that we have or coming on. And we will definitely try to make sure we ask those questions. The statement that Dr. Odom put up here is that as she listens today and she listens from the outside, some women don't know how to give respect because they have never seen it. When a woman grows up seeing something other than respect, and I know you were just talking about respect, so I figured I would throw that out there now as you continue to go on, and then we'll get to the questions later.
Okay.
Tell him to finish reading the rest of it.
Go ahead and read it. Read the rest of it.
Oh, okay. So she can only do. Here's the other part. I got it. So she can only do what she knows, unless she is being taught or she is able to see. That in itself, that right there. The last part is the icing to the cake on that, because transparently, everybody that's watching, God told me to have Dr. Jeffrey and Dr. Pamela do what I'm asking them to do. There's thousands of people that we all know, but there was a reason why I chose them. They always have the ability to call me as a man and check me if I'm wrong. They have the ability to call and congratulate me, because you always need somebody that you're willing to say, okay, I yield to you. But it doesn't matter whether it's now or 25 years down the road, they always have that ability, because this knowledge that you just see, that nugget in itself is powerful. So, and it's a learned behavior. So thank you, Dr. Odom, for putting that out there. Dr. Jeffrey, I'll turn it back over to you, and you will have it until you finish, and then we'll go to the questions.
Yeah. And so, just to respond to that, I can tell you that my wife, like I said, over 40 years, have shown me respect. And she does that by submitting to my leadership. She allows me to lead. It goes back to what I said about dominion. You have to allow the man to lead. You cannot take matters in your own hand when you feel like the man is moving too slow. You moving too slow. You don't know what you're doing. You're emasculating the man. You're not confident in his ability. And listen, so if you as the woman are not confident in his ability, how can you expect him to be confident in his ability? And so that's why women, maybe consciously or unconsciously, they remove that level of respect of a man. They remove that level of dominion from a man because you're doing it for him. Allow him to make mistakes. Allow things to fall. Allow things that he has to learn. And so respect, as that man earns that respect, give him the respect that's due him. Submit under him and allow him to do and make decisions. And God will bless it because you're in the order of God, the hierarchy of God. You're submitting under that man. The children are submitting under the woman, and that man is submitting unto God. And so that is how we earn respect. So the last thing I want to leave you with tonight is leadership. Men are designed by God to lead. So lastly, leadership must be a desired skill that men want to acquire. Men, you got to want to be able to lead. Well, you can't be saying, well, that's my wife. She's better at it than I am. No. You need to lead. You don't need to make any excuses for not leading. You are the man. Lead the family. Lead your wife. As a matter of fact, I can tell you this. Your woman wants to be led. Your woman that you're connected to and that's connected to you, she wants to be led. She doesn't want to take the lead. So she wants you to take your rightful divine responsibility in leadership. So men we must acquire that desire to lead. Masculinity and leadership go hand in hand. Men are called to lead. Leaders are not born. They are made. Did you get that? Leadership or leaders are not born. They are made. So we learn leadership from other men. We learn leadership from other women. Women in the Bible like Deborah and Esther. We learn leadership from them. We learn leadership from reading. I challenge every man to read a book a month. Read a book a month. Get some knowledge and some understanding about your role as a leadership. You weren't born a natural leader. You have to learn how to lead. And so we learn that from other men. We learn that from other women. We learn that from reading. We learn that from experience. So we learn leadership especially from God. Jesus specifically, and leaders that are in our sphere of influence, that we learn leadership from Jesus. When you read the Bible, you're going to see the example of Jesus leading his disciples. So Jesus led his disciples by teaching them about the kingdom of God. So Jesus taught us how we should conduct ourselves as men. This is leadership 101. He taught us three things. He taught us three things that will change our masculinity. Take away our dominion and respect and leadership as a man. There are three things that will take away your masculinity, take away your dominion, take away your respect, and take away your leadership. Do y'all want to know what they are? They are, number one, lust of the eye, lust of the flesh, and the pride of life. Those three things right there, as far as leadership is concerned, they will erase your masculinity. They will erase your respect. They will erase your dominion. So what is lust of the eye? Because we will want everything we see. As a man, we can't want everything we see. If we fall subject to the lust of the eye, we will want to have women outside of our wives. We want money. We'll chase after money. We'll chase after material things. And we'll chase after status. Lust of the flesh means we would never be spiritual. And as a man, if you're body, soul, and spirit, and God is supposed to be ahead of you, if you're submitting to the lust of the flesh, that means you'll never be spiritual and you'll never be a spiritual man. And so the woman now, she doesn't want to submit to you because you're not submitted to anybody. You're not submitted to God. So men would always turn to himself. Lust of the flesh, you always turn to yourself for help. You turn to yourself for help, to help your own self. And that is not the will of God. That is not leadership. You can't turn within yourself to help yourself. And this is actually goes along of being prideful. Prideful. So pride of life. The last one is pride of life. So I said prideful with lust of the flesh because now you're going after things that you can't have. You're trying to self-govern yourself, which is impossible as a man. So the last one is the pride of life, means we will boast in what we have. We will be prejudiced toward those who don't have what we have. Men would be absorbed in his own ability. That's pride of life. You'll be absorbed in your own ability. He will begin to trust himself when his trust should be in God. So those three things right there will emasculate a man, along with a woman taking the leadership role. If a woman takes the leadership role in a man's life, then she will emasculate him. That means that she takes away his dominion. She takes away his respect. She takes away his leadership. Man can devise a plan against his own self. He can set his own self in ruin by not submitting to God. And so there has to be a hierarchy. And the hierarchy, go back again, it's God, it's the man, it's the woman, and then it's the children. So if you're a single man, it's you fall up under God. You fall up under God. If you're a single woman, you fall up under God until you get a husband. If you're a single man, and when you do get a wife, that wife needs to be under you. Don't allow, or don't get yourself in a place where the woman is dominating you. You will be emasculated, and you won't have a purpose. You won't have earned their respect, and your dominion will be taken away. And so this is the third level of man: dominion, respect, and leadership. This is the makeup of a man. We have to have these things in place in order for us to be men. We are not men if we're not priest, protector, and provider. We're not men if we allow our sexuality to get out of control. We're not men if we allow anything to take our dominion, our respect, and our leadership away from us. This is the makeup of the man. And these are the three levels of a man that needs to be all encompassing. They need to be a part of the man. Why? Because this is his makeup. When you take any element out of this, priest, protector, provider, if you take out the sexuality, the balance of the sexuality, if you take out the dominion, the respect, and the leadership, what do you have? You got a shell of a man. You got a man walking around with man parts, but he's not a man. A man is a man by what he demonstrates. And we demonstrate dominion, respect, and leadership because that's how God made us. And so we have to take our rightful place, our authority as men, and we have to dominate. We have to have dominion. We have to have authority. We have to earn the respect, and we have to cast forth our leadership. You're not a born leader. You have to learn how to lead. And like I said, you learn leadership from God. You learn leadership from Jesus. You learn leadership from other men. You learn leadership from other women. And you learn leadership by reading and experience. So you have to learn how to lead. And when you learn how to lead, you sharpen your skills by being more knowledgeable, being more productive, and being the man who God has called you to be.
Listen, lust of the eyes, lust of the flesh, the pride of life. Those are your nuggets. Make sure everybody that's listening, you write those down. You put those somewhere. Pass those to your son, your friend, whoever. Make sure that you get those down. You know, at first I said, okay, I think we should just go ahead on and take like a quick 30 seconds, because I literally have like 4 questions in the chat, Dr. Jeffrey. I got about 6-7 questions written down. I done got text. I need everybody. Get your pen, your paper, whatever you need, recording it, watch it again. 30 seconds. These questions are about to go in. Be right back. Be bold. Be unique. Shop Jax. Be exclusive. Be one of a kind. Shop Jax. Be yourself. Be different. Shop Jax. Not the same that you're going to see everywhere else. Shop Jax. JaxFlyWorld.com. All right. Dr. Jeffrey, this first question,
Yes, sir.
I'm going to, and y'all, I wrote these down as fast as I could. So I'm trying to make sure I got to read my own handwriting, as we often say, right? As a woman who wants to empower her man, you know, to what point do the inconsistency of red flags influence the direction that she's taking? She wants to push him, but when she's pushing him, even though she may be met with resistance or she may be met with nothing.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good question. You don't want to become a nag. You want to be a woman who, I would say, pushes her man, but not to the point of being irritable, because the Bible says it's best for a man to be on the rooftop than in a house with a nagging woman. And it's hot out there, and we don't want to be on the rooftop. Listen, so what you have to do is you have to encourage him, and you have to be patient. Allow him to make mistakes. Allow him his experience of trial and error. You got to nudge him along gently with love and with encouragement. You got to build up men, we have an ego. And I know, hey, we have an ego, but listen, ego is actually edging God out. But we do have these enormous egos. But if you stroke our egos, if you stroke us, if you encourage us, if you lift us up, if you tell us, listen, if my wife tell me I can do something, you best believe I can do it. And so she nudges me little by little to be the man that I'm supposed to be. She builds my confidence. She's never, listen to this, she's never disappointed in me. Even when I mess up, she's not disappointed in me, because listen, she know I serve a God who forgives me. And if God forgives me, then she's going to forgive me too. Because how can she expect God to forgive her if she's never forgiven me? So listen, you got to be the man's greatest encourager. You can't be a Jezebel, take matters in your own hand and say he's moving too slow, or if he's acting like a child, you got to encourage him. You know what Jezebel should have did? She should have told Ahab, get up and be a king. And if Naboth won't sell you his vineyard, go get a vineyard somewhere else. There are other vineyards for sale. Don't sulk like a child. She should have encouraged him. She should have pushed him along to have a plan B. Okay, plan A failed, honey. You the king. Let's go to plan B. Let's sit down. Let me help you. Not take matters in your own hand and you know, do what you think he should be doing. No, she should have encouraged him because he's the king and she's the queen. She should have went underneath him. But there was a lot of factors involved in that. Like I said, it's so many lessons in that Kings, the 21st chapter. It's so many lessons in that. But the thing I want you to understand is that as a woman, you can't take matters in your own hands, no matter how the man is sulking, no matter how discouraged he is. You got to encourage him, and you got to nudge him along. You got to encourage him. You got to speak affirmation to him. You got to make him feel like a king. You got to put that confidence back in him. so he can do great things. And so build them up and don't tear them down.
Great response. Another question. So how does a man handle outside questions or perceptions about their relationships?
Okay. Outside. Okay.
How does a man
Okay.
handle outside perceptions or, questions about their relationship?
Okay. So yeah, as a man, we have many relationships. We have a relationship with our wives. We have a relationship with other women. We have a relationship with other men. The only thing I could tell you is that man needs to be around other men where he can learn how to be a man. He needs to be a man that's hungry for knowledge, hungry for wisdom, hungry for understanding. You have to hunger and thirst as a man for knowledge. You can't. I mean, it's hard to learn this thing on your own. You need a spiritual father. You need a mentor or mentors. You need other men, strong men, spiritual men in your life who can guide you along the way. So yeah, if you're a man and you're bad at relationships, relationship with women, relationship with other men, just relationships, period, even relationship with your children, you need help. It's evident that you can't do it on your own. So you need help. So you need to seek out spiritual men who can be a spiritual father to you, who can be a spiritual mentor to you, and learn from them, learn of them, sit at their feet, spend time with them, take them to lunch, take them to dinner, spend time with them. As a single man, you need to be around other spiritual men who can help you, who can sharpen. The Bible says iron sharpens iron, and so does a friend's countenance. So you need to be around other men who can teach you how to be a man. You can't do this on your own. You can't become the man that you're supposed to be on your own. So you need other men to help you along the way, to give you wisdom and knowledge and understanding, who have experience and who have that especially spiritual knowledge on what you need to know. A mentor who has knowledge on what you need to know as a man. And I'm telling you, you get the right one, they can help you.
So I'm going to expound on that question just a little bit. So how does a man determine, and this is kind of a two-part, and then I have a question from Donald and a question from Dr. Odom, and I'll come back to these. This is kind of a two-part. How does a man determine, you talked about in the very first part one of this, of leaving childish things alone.
Right.
So the question was, how does a man leave childish things alone and decide where they, like, what places are off limits for them? Hey, that's not the life that I want to live. What things do I want to stay? How do they decide that? And how does the woman play a part in those things?
Well, I'm telling you, life as a man is all about choices. It's all about choices. I mean, the choices you make early and the things that you decide early in your 20s. In your 20s, you need to start being a man. Actually, at the age of 13, God considers you a man. You need to begin to put away childish things. So there are things let me take, for instance, absorbing your time. What's absorbing your time? What's taking your time? Are video games absorbing most of your day? Or when you could be reading a book, getting knowledge? Is going to the club, is that helping you? Is that helping you in any way? Drinking excessively, smoking, deteriorating your body, bad habits. Listen, you need to get that wisdom early in your life. In your 20s, going to the club is not helping you. Sleeping around is not going to help you. Having lots of women is not going to help you. You need to start getting your life straight early as a young man. I would start even at 13 years old. So when you get 20 years old, guess what? You're mature. You're in a place where you can help other men. And a woman, you need, if you involve with a woman who doesn't value you as a man, who can't help you as a man, who can't move you along, help you be productive, help you gain the things you need to gain in life as a man. If you have that type of woman who just want to live frivolously and just go about doing any and everything, that's not the woman for you. You need a woman who is wise. You need a woman who is progressive. You need a woman who can encourage you, even in your 20s. So when you get to your 30s, there should be a level of maturity that you have gained. There should be a level of wisdom you have gained. And like I said, you need to be around other men who have spiritual knowledge and understanding. You need to be around other men who are mentors, who can help you in the areas that you need help in. All men need help. All men need help. We need help from other men, and we need help from strong women, not women who will emasculate us, but women who will encourage us. Because I'm telling you, the success of most men in the world, guess what? They got a strong woman beside them. Let that marinate a little bit. Let that, because who you associate with is going to determine your destiny. And so every successful man, guess what? He has a woman by the side that you probably had never seen, never heard of, but guess what? She's encouraging him. She's making him feel like a king. He can run through a troop and leap over a wall. She is the person behind the scenes that nobody can see, is the reason why he's doing great things. That woman is encouraging him, helping him be who he is. And so men, you need to find a woman who is that caliber of woman, who is progressive, who is productive, who can move you along in life and make you feel like a king.
That in itself, listen, as my good friend Tamika McCord would say, we can shut the book right there. Like that right there, we could literally end the podcast on that right there. And I think everybody probably would have just fell out, right? The question from Dr. Odom, I'm gonna put it up. It says, I have seen some women that don't respect their husband because they don't respect themselves. How can she develop this respect and never get anything in return?
Oh yeah, I'm telling you, the key is submission. When a woman can allow herself to submit, and I know that's a word that's not used in today's terminology. It's a bad word. People don't want to hear that. Men don't want to hear submit to God. Women don't want to hear submit to your man. That's how you earn his respect. That's how you gain self-respect. Listen, submission is two-sided, it's two ways. You benefit as the woman, and the man benefits as respect. When you submit, when you come, that's what submit is. All it means is to come under. That's what submission means. So a man, he does what? He comes under God. The woman does what? She comes under the man. There is no man that I know that's out there right now that's masculine. They want a woman who is over him. The man don't want to be led by the woman because it's not the order of God. When the woman comes under the man, submits to man. I'm not saying that you just go along with everything. You do have your opinion. You do have your rights. But what I'm saying is that when you overthrow the man, you don't respect his decision. Oh, that ain't gonna work, and that ain't gonna how you expect that to happen? That's negativity. You're giving this man negative energy. When you give that man negative energy, guess what? He feels like a child. He feels like I'm a failure. I can't do nothing right. But when you say, honey, you know what? We're gonna try this. I'm supporting you 100%. You got my 100% support. As a matter of fact, honey, I'm praying that this work. You got my full support. You are coming under that man, and you're projecting positive words that he can stand on and believe. And now he has confidence and he believes in himself because what? You believe in him. So that respect, that man earns that respect, but that woman has to be wise enough to come under that man. And when she comes under that man, not only does she gain self-respect, but he will gain respect as well. So it's two-sided. It's a win-win situation. When a woman comes under the man, her respect is gained, or she wants love. He's going to love her even the more. When a woman submits to a man, listen, that love will pour out of him. That unconditional love will pour out of him. That extravagant love will pour out of him by your submission. Okay, when you submit, that's not saying that you're any less of a woman. It's saying that I'm submitting under the man because that's the hierarchy of God. That's the order of God. And so, listen, God is going to enable you to gain his love, which you want, and respect is what he wants. Okay. And so it's two-sided. And then two, you will gain respect too by just coming under that and submitting. Love and respect is what we want.
Yes, sir. I'm telling everybody out there, I'm just giving you a heads up. We got about 6 questions. So we're probably going to go over the time frame that we normally do, but understand I need you all to stay tuned because these questions are here. They're real. Dr. Odom made a comment and just a couple comments in the chat, but I want to get to this question and I'm going to save those right before we leave because I want those the bomb droppers right there. So I want to get to this question from Donald. And then I got a couple other questions. We'll get to those last comments and we will wrap up after that. You got this is I'm loving it. Thanks, Dr. Jeffrey, again for being obedient and submitting to God to just even do this. Yes. I'm looking at the amount of people that are watching right now and the questions that are being asked. This is invaluable. Donald asked a question. He said, how does a man deal with a dominant woman in a marriage without going to war with each other?
Yeah, that is a good question. The woman has to have a revelation of the man. Okay, she has to have a revelation. What I talked about tonight, she has to have a revelation. Revelation means that it's being revealed now. It's been exposed now. Okay, you may be a strong woman. You may be independent. You may be a breadwinner. You might earn more money than him. You may be smarter than him. You may have more letters behind your name than him. He might have a high school diploma. He may not even have graduated high school. But this is the revelation. He's the man. He is the man. I say it this way. He's got the juice with God. I don't care how he's acting. I don't care what addiction he has. He has the juice with God because that is the hierarchy. God honors that hierarchy. God, the man, the woman, and then the children. And so to answer Donald's question is that dominant woman has to submit. I go back to submission. She has to submit, willfully submit, because she got what? A revelation that this man is the hierarchy of God, the order of God. If I honor him, if I submit to him, then guess what? God is going to bless me as the woman. He's going to bless. It's a win-win situation. The whole household wins. The children win. The man wins. The woman wins. You got to have a revelation that I have to submit to this man. I'm strong. I'm smarter. I earn more money. But you have to, it's a must. You got to get a revelation of submission. I'm telling you, try for 30 days. If you don't believe it works, try for 30 days. Submit to that man for 30 days and watch God. Because I'm telling you, it works for me. And I'm telling you, over decades, my wife has submitted to me and allowed me to be the man. And God has blessed every area of our lives, even her life. by her submitting to me. I submit to God. As I submit to God, she trusts my leadership. She trusts my dominion. She respects me, and I feel like a king. I feel like a king every day. There's not a day that goes by that she doesn't encourage me, give me words of affirmation. And I likewise do the same thing to her. But she is the reason for my success because of her submission. I don't have a wild woman out there doing, and she's powerful. She's anointed. She's an apostle. But guess what? She submits to my leadership. And she allows me to make decisions. She allows me to make mistakes. She honors me. She honors me as the man. And so she respects my decisions. She respects what I say. She respects everything I do. She has made up in her mind that she is going to submit every day of her life. And she never circumvents her authority. She never overrides her authority with me and with God, because that is the order of God.
I want to say this too right there, Dr. Jeffrey. First of all, this just dropped on me, so I'm going to release it to you. I just heard a book by Dr. Jeffrey Odom called I Got the Juice. A man's breakdown of what it means to be in God's standing, what it means to do what God has designed us to do. And I know there's a lot of teachers that are out there, but there is none better on this subject than you are. Amen. And that's no disrespect to anybody else, but I'm gonna give praise where praise is due.
Amen.
The second part I want to say is a lot of y'all may not understand this just yet. Dr. Odom, Dr. Pamela Odom, is the most powerful woman that I have known in my life. When I mean from a spiritual aspect, and I mean from a practical aspect, and being able to combine them, never be biased, but give you the real when you need the real. Right. So you guys are going to see that really soon. And then you're going to compare and you're going to go, is that the same woman that Dr. Jeffrey was referring to? Well, she's going to teach you some things that are going to blow your mind. So what he's saying is so true and it's so needed. And I'm going to shorten this up. I'm going to combine the question. Basically, the question was a 3-part question that I got asked. So how do you as a man agree to disagree, come back, reason, come back together, because your beliefs may be different. You may believe one thing and she may believe the other, and you disagree on it. And, the question was asked, how do you come back together and say, okay, who's going to make the final decision? Yes or no? You might like it this way. She might want to do it that way. She may like this. You may like that. But how would you talk to a man and tell a man in that situation?
Both natural and spiritual.
Okay, yeah, both natural and spiritual. So yeah, this is a very good question, because I don't make major decisions without first going to God and then acknowledging my wife, finding out I respect her decisions. I value her opinion. And so it doesn't make me any less of a man. My leadership, my dominion, my respect, it doesn't make me a less of a man if I acknowledge God as far as what's the next step. Okay, me and my wife have come together and we don't agree. Okay, that's fine. We don't agree. What's the next step? Prayer. Pray. After I pray, okay, that's a spiritual, I'm giving you a spiritual standpoint now. So I pray. Once I pray, she trusts the answer that I get from God. If God tells me, honey, this is what God told me, she let it rest. That's it. It's done. Okay. From a natural standpoint, this is what happens. We don't agree. Okay. So we don't agree. So the Bible says, let's reason together. Okay. Let us weigh the pros and the cons. Let us see, if we do this, how will it work? If we don't do this, how will it work? I understand you disagree, but let's come to some common ground. Let's come to some common ground. And so as a man, you're still allowing him to lead. You haven't taken over. You respect what he says. He respect what you say. We come to a common bond. We come to a common decision, and we both agree on one plan. Okay. We both agree. The man agrees. The woman agrees. Okay. At first we were in disagreement, but we talked about it. We communicated. We came to a common ground. Now that we've come to a common ground, we can make a decision. Okay. Once we make a decision, the man doesn't feel less of a man. Why? Because you've acknowledged what I thought. I acknowledged what you thought. We came to a common ground, and now we're going to make a decision based on what you think and based on what I think. Okay, now we can move forward. But it's not just a woman. Oh, that's what you want to do? I don't want to do that. We're going to do it my way. No. We come to a common ground. I see his side. He sees your side, and we move forward together. We move forward together because we both have input. And you as a woman, you still have allowed the man to lead without dominating.
Okay. So a follow up to that question really quickly. So in that particular case, right? So I'm going to help some man out right here. If you, let's just use a natural situation, you believe that it's okay for you to partake in an activity, whatever activity we want to, input that activity. The woman says, nope, I don't really think that's good for you. I'm not really, I don't feel that that's a valued thing within our relationship. How do you navigate that? Because I've heard that from different people before, because that's a difference in beliefs. It's a difference in morals. And you have to be careful that you're not necessarily, you never want anybody to feel like they're controlled. Mm-hmm. So, how do you navigate that, that situation?
Well, you got to put that on a scale. You got to put that on a balance. And one question I would ask myself, if I didn't agree with the activity of my mate or my spouse, is it sin? Is it something going to be detrimental? Like, okay, he might like going to the club. Honey, why are you going to the club? What need is it? What is it benefiting you to go to the club? You understand? It's something that he wants to do, but the woman already knows, hey, this is not good for you. And so she communicates and you talk about it. Why? Because it's something that could lead him into temptation. It could lead him into adultery, fornication. It could lead to a separation in the marriage. So guess what? As a man, I respect my wife's wisdom. I want to do it, but I respect her wisdom. It could lead to us being divorced. It could lead to separation. So guess what? If I respect that, I'm going to honor that. And I'm not going to go to the club because it is disrupting the peace within our relationship. You understand that? So that again goes back to the natural, the common ground. Let's find common ground. Okay, I heard your side. This is something you want to do. Now listen to my side. What are the pros and the cons? Okay, the pros outweigh the cons. Okay, so we're not going to do that because it's to your advantage, honey, that I want to stay married to you. I want to be your boo. I want to be your only one. I don't want other women in your eye gates. I don't want you going out there getting drunk. I don't want you going out there getting belligerent, getting a DUI. Now you're in jail. Now guess what? You lose your job. You ain't got no way. So that's a snowball effect. It's a lose-lose situation. So when we look at that from a standpoint, from the natural, we see it's not good for our relationship. If it's not good for your relationship, don't do it.
Yes, sir. Listen, I appreciate, I want to look into the camera and make sure I'm looking at the camera when I say this. I appreciate everyone that asked me those questions. I wanted to make sure I asked them for you all so that we could get those questions out. The last, I want to leave with a couple of things that were dropped, a couple of comments. I want to put these in here. Again, our sister Tamika, thank you for watching. Submission produces extravagant. And ladies, that's coming from a woman. I want you to read. So the comments I'm putting up, these aren't necessarily from men, because, you know, a lot of times you'll see things like this and people will say, oh, well, that's just the man that's saying it. He's just saying it. He's just agreeing it. These aren't comments that are coming from the show of men right now. So I want to touch that. And then Dr. Odom dropped this nugget. And this is very important, because a lot of times what I feel like is that people that are, I had this nugget and I was going to drop this nugget on my actual channel, but I'm going to tell you right now, because it's so crazy when I think about what we're talking about at this particular moment. People, I call it the peanut gallery, right, Dr. Jeffrey? And the peanut gallery could either be a man or a group of men or a group of women. They have no real stake in your relationship. They're not in your relationship. Their relationships could be in shambles. You don't know what is going on in their relationship, but they want to seek and have the ability to question your relationship. Nobody has the authority or the right to question your relationship. They shouldn't even be asking about it. Right. I'm sorry, I might ruffle some feathers. Some people might get mad. Mind your business. That is the key to that. Stay in your lane. You cannot, if your road is not smooth, don't try to smooth somebody else's out, man, or indifferent, because a lot of times that's what's happening. People are trying to give advice, but you can't give advice if you've never been in that same situation. You can't give advice on a good relationship if you've never seen one. That is the whole purpose of a lot of the things that we're trying to do here, is to drop knowledge and drop wisdom and drop nuggets from people that have experienced stuff. This is just week 3. We got plenty of more episodes to go on plenty of more topics that are going to build the total being. And men, take this, run with this. Dr. Odom put up here, give your relationship time. Sometimes we look for a miracle overnight. Stop comparing your man to another man. Says she kept her eyes on her own man to fulfill what it is that she has today. A relationship is not, Rome wasn't built in a day. The man nor the woman is going to be perfect in one day. But as Dr. Jeffrey has said tonight, dominion, respect, leadership, those things right there, along with your leadership, along with the sexuality, along with just the priest, provider, protector, man, I'm energized. I'm not sure if you're energized, but this is a teaching that I've been hearing, and every time you hear it, you want to do more. You want to be better. You want to learn more, which is what this is about. So I encourage you all tonight to continue to go back, listen to it again. It's on. It's going, as soon as we end this broadcast, give it 5 minutes. It's going to be up live on YouTube. You can rewatch the video. We're going to be on all the other podcast stuff probably within the hour. So I thank you all for being here. With that, I'm gonna throw Dr. Odom on the spot. I don't know if she, I don't know if she's dressed and she's ready for the cameras. But you guys, the surprise and what we have coming next, we have Dr. Pamela Odom coming for the next 3 weeks. She's gonna talk to us about unlocking your mate. I'm gonna say that again. I'm dropping the surprise now. Unlocking your mate, Dr. Pamela Odom, for the next 3 weeks. So you thought the fire was gonna die down. Hey, that wick just turned a little bit brighter. And we're gonna keep going and keep going and keep going. So I thank you all again for tuning in. Dr. Jeffrey, I love you. I thank you so much. I appreciate everything that you have done for me and my life, and everything that you have done for everyone that is here tonight, and how you have changed their lives. I apologize to you all just for the show being a little bit longer than what it was, but I decided to sit back and let God have his way. So I'm going to end the show like this. Love, live loose, from the heart. I'm ChopStation. Peace.
Bless you.